Hi children of grade 8. I welcome you all for the today's English class. Today in this session we are going to see the next grammar unit from our grammar part. Chapter 13. The title of the chapter, Active and Passive Voice. To understand it better, let's see a video about the active and passive voice. Children, today we are going to see active voice and passive voice. We are going to see three things here. First one, what is about active voice and passive voice and about its structure and when you have to use it. So children, first we are going to see the basic things of active and passive voice. Then next we are going to see the conversion of active and passive voice. So children, listen to the video and understand the concept active and passive voice, as it is very important chapter in English grammar. As it is an important chapter in English grammar, it will be asked in any competitive exams and as well as in academic exams. So listen to the video carefully children and understand the concept active and passive voice. First, let's understand what is exactly active voice. In active voice, subject performs the action and object receives the action. Look at the picture children, you can understand the things easily. Here, in active to passive, the subject and object should interchange. So, subject should change into object and object should change into subject. So, that is known as active and passive voice children in general. So, look at the example given here. Children, here in this sentence in active voice, Melody writes the article. Here, Melody is the subject. What is the action here? Yes, it is writes. And who is at the receiving end? That is the article, object here. So, listen carefully children. So, children, remember this structure properly. So, in active sentence, the structure must be subject plus verb plus object. So, that's all from the active voice. Let's move on to the passive voice. In active sentence, the sentence structure is straightforward with subject, verb and object. So be clear on this children. Children, now let's look into the passive voice. Here in passive voice is used to show interest in the person or object that experiences an action rather than the action which performing it. So it will be reverse in passive. You can note it here children. So in active it is completely vice versa in passive. So in this sentence, I love my subscriber, it is an active sentence. Here I is the subject, love is a verb and my subscriber is the object. Children, as I told you in passive voice, the subject takes the place of object and object takes the place of subject with the keyword by being added to it. Plus verb 3. So object plus verb 3 plus by plus subject. The verb's third form must be used. So children, when you change into passive this sentence, look at here. My subscribers are loved by me. Here my subscriber is the object. Loved is verb 3 form. By me is the subject. Here my subscribers are receiving the action of love by me. Children, I think you might be clear about this difference between the two. Please note that children and its general sentence structure. Here both the sentence I love my subscribers and my subscribers are loved by me, both are in exactly same meaning. Both sentences are identical in meaning. Then which one to use? Usually we use active voice only. Children, let's quickly revise what we have discussed now. What is meant by active voice? Here active voice means subject performs the action and the object receives the action. The sentence structure of active voice is subject plus verb plus object. Next we discussed about passive voice. Here the more importance will be given to the object and action that has been performed rather than who has performed the action. The general sentence structure of passive voice is object plus verb 3 plus by subject. Children, these are the general structure of active and passive voice, and there will be a modification of structure based on the tenses. So that we are going to see now. Children, now we are going to see active voice versus passive voice. In this video, we are going to see the conversion of active voice to passive voice. So listen carefully, children. According to the tenses, we are going to change this active voice to passive voice. Let's get started. Children, let's quickly recall and remember what is about exactly active and passive voice. That is, in two ways we can describe the action performed by the subject in relation with the object. First, as I already told you, active voice, here subject performs the action and object receives the action. The sentence structure is subject plus verb plus object. Second one, passive voice. Here, the action is on the object by the subject, and the sentence structure is object plus helping verb plus verb 3 form by subject. Children, let's see an example to understand better about active and passive voice in an example. Look at the example. Mayank repaired my car. In passive voice, my car was repaired by Mayank. Both the sentences are in same meaning, but the context is changed. In the first sentence, subject Mayank is given more importance, and we get to know that he is the person who is doing repairing activity on the car, which is an object. And in the second sentence, we are giving more importance to the object car and the action performed by the subject rather than the subject itself. Children, now let's see how to convert active voice to passive voice. There are 5 steps to convert active into passive. Let's see and understand now. First one, you have to identify the subject, object and main verb from the sentence. And second one, you have to swap the subject and object. Third one, you have to convert the verb form into verb 3 form. And the fourth one, you have to add helping verb before the main verb. And fifth point, you have to add preposition by before the subject. So children, these are the 3 main basic 5 steps to change the sentence from active to passive voice. Then the sentence structure of passive voice is object, helping verb, verb 3 form, by subject. There are 2 things which we need to remember here. When you replace the subject with the object, when the subject is in the pronoun, then the conversion will be like this. I will become me, he will become him, she will become her, we will become us, then they will become they. Children, this conversion of pronoun is very important. Remember it properly. We need to add proper helping verb of to be before the main verb. The helping verb is decided based on the tenses. Children, let's see all the tense forms with the main verb right. Let's look into the different helping verbs as per the tenses one by one, which we need to learn. First one is simple present tense. In active voice, we have verbs first form, that is write or writes. And in passive voice, we add is or am or depending on the object whether it is singular or plural, and written third form of the verb. The next tense is present continuous tense. In active voice, is or am or are depending on the subject whether it is singular or plural, and writing as it is a continuous tense. Whereas in passive voice, we add the helping verb being, is, am or are, being, and written as a verb. In present perfect tense, in active voice, we use have, written. While in passive voice, we are adding been, helping verb after have and written. The next tense is simple past. In simple past, in active voice, we use wrote, that is verb to form, past form of the verb. In passive voice, we use was or were plus verb's third form, written. In past continuous tense in active voice, we use was or were plus writing. In passive voice, we use was or were being helping verb and written. In past perfect tense, in active voice, we use had written. Whereas in passive voice, we use been helping verb after had plus written. Third form of the verb. In simple future, we use in active voice will write. Whereas in passive voice, will be written. Verb third form. For future perfect tense, in active voice, we use will have written. In passive voice, we have to use the helping verb been after have and written. That is the verb's third form. So children, this is the 8 tenses chart. Help you to understand which helping verb to use. Children, you must have noticed that in this 8 tenses chart, we don't have the 4 tenses while converting from active to passive. That is present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous and future perfect continuous. So in English grammar, we don't convert sentences of these tenses as it is not grammatically correct. Children, let's see some examples for these 8 tenses to make things clearer. Let's start with the first tense, simple present tense. The active sentence is he writes a letter. So to convert into passive, we have to do that 5 steps. What are the 5 steps? First one is to identify the subject, verb, object in the given sentence. Here, who is doing the action? The subject. He is doing the action. So it is a subject. What is the action performed? It's writing. So write is the verb. On what the action is performed? That is the object, letter. Now we have identified the subject, object and verb in the sentence. Then the second step is swapping of subject and object. I have to change the subject into object and object into subject. So a letter is the object here. That should be brought front as subject. He will be turned into him. We have to bring it to the position, to the loss, as it is the next third step is converting of main verb into verb 3 form. Then the verb 3 form of verb is written. Then add the helping verb. As it is singular, we have to use helping verb is. Now if you read the sentence, it is a letter written him. Think that the sentence is completed? No, it's not. Then step 5 will come. Step 5 is add preposition by. Now the whole sentence is completed and changed into passive voice. A letter is written by him. Children, I hope you have clear with all the steps. Now let's move to the next tense, that is present continuous tense. Let's see an example for present continuous tense. In active voice, Javed is making a cake. Step 1 is to identify the subject, object and the main verb. Here, who is performing the action is Javed. So Javed is the subject. What action performed? It is making. So it is the verb. What's the receiving end? It's the cake. So it is the object here. And the next step, step 2 is to swap the position of subject and object. That is Javed and a cake. Step 3, we need to convert the verb, that is main verb, into the verb 3 form. That is made. Step 4, that is we need to add helping verb, that is to be. As it is a present continuous tense and the subject also in singular, so we are adding is being. Lastly, to make the sentence complete, we have to add the preposition by. The final passive voice sentence is a cake is being made by Javed in present continuous tense, children. Now let's see the next tense, that is present perfect tense. In active, the sentence is I have eaten a burger. In passive, first we need to identify the SVO, that is the subject, verb and object. Here in the sentence, I is the subject, eaten is the verb and a burger is the object. Second step is to swap the subject and object. So here the subject is I. As it is a pronoun, it should be changed into me and the subject is a burger. And the third step is converting of main verb into verb 3 form. It is eaten. The fourth step is adding a suitable helping verb. So it is has been. And lastly, we have to use the preposition by to make the sentence complete into passive voice in the present perfect tense. So sentence is a burger has been eaten by me. Let's move on to the next tense, that is simple past tense with an example. In active, he bought a car. Whereas in passive, we have to follow the steps. First one, find out the subject, verb and object. So as here he is the subject, bought is the verb and a car is the object. Step 2, swap the position of subject and object. So as it is a car is the subject and he should be changed into him. Converting the main verb into third form, it is bought, and adding the proper helping verb was. And the next step is adding preposition by. Now the sentence was completely changed into a car was bought by him in simple past. Children, let's move on to the next tense, that is past continuous tense. In active, the sentence is Sarah was singing a song. In passive, first you need to identify the subject, verb and object. Here Sarah is the subject, was singing is verb and object a song. Now the second step is swapping of subject and object. Here a song is the subject now and Sarah is the object. The third step is converting of main verb into verb 3 form. It is sung and using a proper helping verb, that is was being, and using the preposition by. Now the sentence is completely changed into passive. A song was being sung by some in past continuous tense. Now let's see the next tense, that is past perfect tense. In active, the sentence is Joy had finished homework. In passive, first you have to find out subject, verb and object. So Joy is the subject, finished is verb and homework is the object. 2. Swapping the position of subject and object. So Joy should go back and homework should come front. Then we have to change the main verb into verb 3 form. It is finished. Then you have to use the proper helping verb, had been. Then finally we have to use the preposition by. Now the passive sentence is homework had been finished by Joy in past perfect tense. Children, now move on to the next tense, that is simple future tense. In active, the sentence is she will accept the offer. In passive, first we have to find out the subject, verb and object. So she is the subject, accept is verb and the offer is object. Next, swap the subject and object. Here the offer is the subject, she should be changed into her. Then change the main verb into verb 3 form. Then it is accepted. Then use the proper helping verb. Here the helping verb is will be and the final preposition should be add by. So the passive sentence is the offer will be accepted by her in simple future tense. Children, let's see the next example for the tense future perfect tense. In active, the sentence is I will have charged the battery. In passive, you have to find out first the subject, verb and object. So I is the subject, charged is the verb and the battery is object. Now swap the subject and object. The battery is the subject, I should be changed into me as it is a pronoun. Then change over of main verb into verb 3 form. It is charged and use the proper helping verb next. Then it is will have been. Then finally you have to use the preposition by. Now the passive sentence is the battery will have been charged by me in future perfect tense. Children, so children, these are the 8 ways of 8 tenses to convert the tenses into active voice to passive voice. Children, I hope and I am sure there is no difficulty in converting the sentences from active to passive now. Children, remember and by heart this tense tabulation. It will help you to convert the sentences. Children, that's all about active and passive voice in this session. Children, let's revise one more time. Children, find the 5-step formula in converting any of active tense to passive. The first step is to identify the subject, object and verb in the sentence. Second step is swap the subject with the object and object with the subject. Third step is to convert the main verb into verb's third form. Fourth step is to add the helping verb before the main verb according to the tense. And finally, add the preposition by before the subject to make the sentence complete. So, for the active voice, the sentence structure is subject, verb and object straightly. Whereas in passive voice, the sentence structure will be object, helping verb plus verb 3 form by subject. So that's all from this session, children. Active and passive voice. And let's see some more examples for active and passive voice. Children, let's see the definition and examples for active and passive voice. First, let's see what is meant by active voice. Active voice means a doer of the action is the subject. The structure of sentence in active voice will be doer, that is the subject, plus action, that is the verb, plus object, the work. So this is the pattern and the structure of sentence structure for active voice, as we saw in the video. So here in passive voice, the work is the subject and the doer receives the action. So the passive voice is used to signify work more than the doer. But whereas in active voice, we will show the doer first. Here in passive voice, the work of the subject is the doer. Doer receives the action. So it will go vice versa. So look at the picture here. What is a passive voice? In active voice, the subject performs the action. For example, look at the sentence here. John hit the ball. Here, John is the subject, hit is the verb, the ball is the object. Whereas in passive voice, the action is performed on the subject. The subjects receive the action. So it goes vice versa. So you have to swap the subject into object and object into subject. So bring the ball, friend. So the ball was hit over the fence. Or otherwise, if you change this sentence, the ball was hit by John. The ball was hit by John. So that is the passive voice, children. Look at the picture. Here we are going to see the first tense, that is simple present. So see sentence here, example sentence here. I write a story. So it is an active sentence. In passive, a story is written by me. I should be changed into me and a story should be brought friend as subject. So a story is written by me. That is the passive voice in simple present tense, children. So the rule for simple present tense is subject plus is or am plus verb 3. Then example. See the example here. Shyam gives his assignment. The assignment is given by Shyam. So here Shyam is the subject, gives is the verb, assignment is the object. So you have to interchange the subject and object first. So assignment, then is given. That is verb form. The verb should be changed into verb 3 form, given. Then you have to use the proper helping verb, is. Then preposition by should be added. So the sentence in passive as assignment is given by Shyam. Let's move on to the next tense, that is present continuous tense. In present continuous tense, the present continuous tense structure is inactive. Subject plus am is or plus verb plus ing plus object. In passive voice, the same thing. Subject plus am is or plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus object. So look at the example given here for present continuous tense. He is writing a novel at the moment. The novel is being written by him at the moment. Okay, so he should be changed to him. A novel should brought friend as it is an object, and writing should be changed into the verb 3 form as written. And as we are writing the present continuous tense, so it should be is being at the moment should be at the back. So the sentence, a novel is being written by him at the moment. That is the sentence in passive, children. In present continuous tense, children. Children, look at the another example for present continuous tense and its sentence structure here. That is the rule here. So first, in present continuous tense, the rule, is subject plus is or are or am plus being plus verb 3. The example here, Shyam is giving his assignment. Shyam is giving his assignment. So here subject, verb and object we need to find out first. First, Shyam is the subject, giving is the verb, assignment is the object. So you have to interchange the subject and object first. So assignment should be brought front and Shyam should be moved back. Then the main verb should be changed into verb 3 form. Giving should be changed into given. Then we have to use proper helping verb. So here what is the rule? Is being, as it is a present continuous tense, is being should be used and the preposition by must be added in between. So the sentence in passive is assignment is being given by Shyam in present continuous tense, children. So next we are moving to the next tense, that is present perfect tense. In present perfect tense, see the rule in active voice, that is subject plus has or have plus verb 3 form plus object. So see here verb 3 form only. In passive it should be interchanged. So subject plus has or have plus been plus verb 3 plus by plus object. So look at the example here for present perfect. He has just finished a novel. He has just finished a novel. So here subject is he, finished is the verb, a novel is the object. So how it should be changed first? Subject and verb should be changed first. So the object is a novel, subject is in pronoun form. So it is in pronoun he. So it should be changed into him. So a novel has just been finished and the verb 3 form of finished is finished only. So it is used as it is. So the novel has just been finished by him. So that's all about the present perfect tense. So the rule here, subject plus has or have plus been plus verb 3. So the example here, Shyam has given his assignment in active voice, whereas in passive voice the assignment has been given by Shyam. So this is the present perfect tense, children. Let's move to the next tense, that is past tense. Simple past. Look at the picture here. I wrote a story. Here wrote is the symbol of past verb. So I wrote a story. How to be changed into passive? A story should be brought front and I should be changed into me. So a story was written by me in past tense. So the rule for past tense, simple past tense is subject plus was or were plus verb 3. For example, see the example here. Shyam gave his assignment. Shyam gave his assignment. You have to change into subject as object, object into subject. So assignment was given. Gave should be changed into verb 3 form, given by Shyam. So this is the simple past tense, children, in passive. So the sentence is assignment was given by Shyam in passive in simple past tense. The next tense is past continuous tense. For this past continuous tense, the formula is the subject plus was or were plus verb plus ing plus object. This is the structure for active voice. In passive voice, it is subject plus was or were plus being plus verb 3 plus by plus object. That is the structure, children. So it should be interchanged. So see the example here. He was writing a letter at 8 yesterday. In active voice. How to be changed into passive? Subject, he is the subject. Writing is the verb. Letter, object. So letter should be brought front as subject. In passive voice, a letter was being written by him. So that's the passive voice in past continuous tense, children. So the rule for past continuous tense is subject plus was or were plus being plus verb 3. So look at the example. Shyam was giving his assignment. Look at the example. Shyam was giving his assignment. In passive, you have to swap the subject as subject and object. So, assignment was being given by Shyam. So, this is past continuous tense, children. Let's move on to the next tense, that is past perfect tense. So, the structure for past perfect tense is in active, subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. In passive, in active, subject plus had plus verb 3 plus object. In passive, it is subject plus had been plus past participle, that is verb 3 form, and by plus object. So example here, he had finished his homework before 8 o'clock yesterday. His homework had been finished by him before 8 o'clock yesterday. So here he should be changed into him, and his homework is the object, should be brought front, and had been is the helping verb, and by is the preposition here. So the rule for past perfect tense is subject plus had been plus verb 3. So look at the example here. Shyam had been given assignment. Then in passive, it is assignment had been given by Shyam. Look at the next tense, that is simple future tense. In simple future tense, the structure is in active, subject plus will or shall plus verb plus object. In passive, it is subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb 3 form plus be by plus object. So look at the example here. He will finish the homework. The homework will be finished in passive, children. Then see the structure for future tense, that is simple future. Subject plus shall or will plus be plus verb 3. So the example is Shyam will give his assignment. In passive, assignment will be given by Shyam. The homework will be finished by him. So see here in the next tense, that is future perfect tense. The active was is, and the structure is subject plus will or shall plus have plus verb 3 plus object. In passive voice, it is subject plus will or shall plus have been plus verb 3 plus by plus object. So see the example here. By the end of next week, we will have written 10 letters to her. So in passive, by the end of next week, 10 letters will have been written to her. So the structure for future perfect is subject plus shall or will plus have plus been plus verb 3. And see the example for future perfect tense. Shyam will have given his assignment. Assignment will have been given by Shyam. So in passive voice. So that's all. We have completed all the 8 tenses. In that, we don't have the conversion of active voice in present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous, and future perfect continuous, children. So remaining 8 tenses we have discussed, and its structure we have seen here. If suppose the sentence is in the interrogative sentence, if the question in the active voice begins with the helping verb, the passive voice must also begins with the suitable helping verb. Supposing the question begins with WH or how form, what, when, how, then the passive must begin with the same. So look at the tabulation here, children. In active voice, are you writing a letter? In passive voice, it must be, so here a letter is the object that should be brought front. So a letter is in the singular form, so it should be changed into is a letter being, as it is in the present continuous writing, so being written by you. Look at the next sentence. Is she beating the child? The child is in the singular form, so it should be changed with the helping verb is. Is the child being beaten by her? Being beaten by her. Then, will you accept the position? Will you accept the position? Here, will is the future tense. So, will as it is, it should come. So, will the position be accepted by you? Will the position be accepted by you? So, will is the future tense. So, will should come as it is. So, will the position should come first. Be is the helping verb. Accepted is the verb 3 form by you. Then look at the next example. Who broke the window? The question is, who broke the window? Here, we don't have the subject. So, it should be changed into by whom. So, who should change into whom? Whom broke, as it is given in the past tense form. So, who, by whom was the window broken? So, this is the way you need to change into passive, children. If there is no subject, you have to use by whom. So, who broke the window? Is there any subject given? No. So, by whom was the window broken? So, this is the way you need to change into passive if there is no subject, children. Then, why did you write such a letter? So, here it is started with the WH word why. Why did is the past tense form. So, was should be there. So, why was such a letter written by you? So, this is the way you need to change into interrogative, passive, active, interrogative sentence from active to passive, children. Sentence in imperative form, then this is the way you need to change, children. If the given sentence in the active voice is in the imperative form, to get the passive voice, you have to use the word let. Hence, the passive voice and the structure is let plus object plus be plus past participle. That is the verb 3 form. So, see here the example, help me. In passive voice, let me be helped. Look at the tabulation here. Active voice, help me. In passive, you have to use the word let. Let me be helped. So, that is the structure for passive voice from active to passive in imperative sentence, children. So, if it is imperative sentence, help me, then in passive, let me be helped. Next sentence, look at the next example, open the door. In passive, let the door be open. Let the door be open. The next sentence, don't eat this fruit. As it is in the negative form in imperative sentence, so you have to change into negative. So, let not this fruit be eaten. Then the next sentence, sing a song. Let a song be sung. So, this is the way you need to change if the sentence is an imperative sentence in active voice to change over of passive. The sentence structure for passive in imperative sentences, let plus object plus be plus past participle. That is the verb 3 form of the verb, children. So, be clear in this. Previous picture we have discussed about the interrogative sentence and how to change into passive. Now, we have discussed the imperative sentence, that is how to change into passive. So, children, as I already told you, in imperative, passive of imperative, we need to use let. So, as it is given in the previous picture, open the door is the active voice. In passive, let the door be open. So, let plus object plus be plus verb 3. That is the imperative sentence structure for passive voice children. If the sentence is, let him open the door. If it is like this, you have to change into, let the door be opened by him. Let plus object plus be plus verb 3 form by plus subject. So, if suppose him is added in between, it should be changed and as it should be taken as subject and it should be brought to the back as object in the passive voice. So, the let the door be opened by him. Children, as we have discussed in the interrogative sentence, that if there is no subject, then it should be changed with by whom. So, look at the example here. Who opened the door? Who opened the door? As there is no subject, see here, who was the door opened by whom? Nobody is there. So, as there is no subject, it should be changed into interrogative in passive by the word by whom. So, the passive form of sentence, interrogative sentence is by whom was the door opened? By whom was the door opened? So, see the sentence structure for interrogative sentence with who. Who plus be plus object plus verb 3 plus by. It should be changed into by whom plus be plus object plus verb 3. So, if the interrogative sentence starts with the question who, then in passive, it should be changed with by whom. So, the sentence structure is by whom plus be plus object plus verb 3. If the passive sentence is an yes or no question, for example, with auxiliary verbs and do form of verbs, like can, have, has, did, was, then the sentences will be changed into passive, into interrogative. Look at the picture here. Can you speak English? It is in the active voice. If it is changed into passive, can English be spoken by you? Can English be spoken by you? Look at the another example. Has he helped them? In passive, have they been helped by him? Have they them should be changed into they, been helped by him. He must be changed into him in passive. So, has he helped them in active? In passive, have they, as it is in the plural form, it should be changed into have they been helped by him? Look at the another example here. Did you help him? Did you help him? Here, did as it is in the past tense, we should change into was. Was, you, him should be changed into he. Verb 3 form is helped by. You should be changed as it is you. Was he helped by you in passive? So, in active, did you help him? In passive, was he helped by you? So, the sentence structure is do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus object is equal to is or am or are plus object plus verb 3. So, did plus subject plus verb 1 plus object equal to was plus where, was or where plus object plus verb 3. So, if it is in the present tense do form, that is do or does, we have to use the helping verb is, am or are. If it is in the past tense of do form did, you have to use was or where plus object plus verb 3. So, the sentence structure of each sentences like interrogative, imperative and other normal positive sentences, the sentence structure of active and passive is very, very important, children. So, you must understand and by heart those sentence structure to change into active to passive. Here are some other examples for yes or no question. Look at the first one. Are they planting trees? In passive, are trees being planted? Look at the next sentence. Did they tell anything? Was anything told? Was anything told? Next sentence. Didn't he buy anything? It is in the negative. So it should, in passive also, it should be changed into negative form. Wasn't anything bought by him? Wasn't anything bought by him? Then look at the next sentence. Will he bring the book? In passive, will the book be brought by him? Will the book be brought by him? So this is the changeover of yes or no questions, question, interrogative sentence and imperative sentence from active to passive, children. If it is negative, then in passive it will also be remain as negative. So look at the sentence here. They have not stolen my pen. The pen has not been stolen. My pen has not been stolen. They have not stolen my pen. My pen has not been stolen. Look at the next example for negative sentence. They must not have left any sign. In passive, any sign must not have been left. Then look at the next sentence. Nobody has done homework. As it is in the negative form, nobody means it is indirectly a negative sentence. So it should be changed into passive into negative sentence only. So homework has not been done. So I'll repeat, children. They have not stolen my pen. In passive, my pen has not been stolen. The next sentence, they must not have left any sign. Any sign must not have been left. The next sentence, nobody has done homework. As it is nobody, it is indirectly telling that it is a negative sentence. So, in passive, homework has not been done. So, this is the way you need to change the negative sentence into passive, children. So, negative sentences remains the same in as negative in passive voice also, children. Children, now let's see some changeover of voice with some examples. Did you teach us? Did you teach us? How we have to change into passive? As the subject change into we, it should be changed into were, and even we have did. Did shows the past tense verb. So, were we taught by you? Were we taught by you? Look at the next sentence. She has to prepare food. The food has to be prepared by her. Next sentence. Who told you about the accident? Here, as we are starting with the question who, it should be changed as by whom. So, by whom were you told about the accident? Then, people are destroying the jungle. The jungle is being destroyed by people. So, this is the way you need to change into active to passive in all kind of sentences, even interrogative and imperative, children. Children, let's see some more example of interrogative sentences, changeover of active to passive. Do you love him? Do you love him? In passive, him must be changed into he. And do is the present tense form. So, is he loved by you? Is he loved by you? Look at the next sentence. Did he break the window? Did he break the window? So, did is the symbol of past tense. So, we have to change the sentence in passive with was. Was the window break, and the verb 3 form is broken by he must be changed into him. So, was the window broken by him? Look at the next sentence. Have you taught the boy? Have you taught the boy? Has the boy been taught by you? The boy as it is in singular. So, has the boy been taught by you? And look at the next example. What do you want? What is wanted by you? Look at the next example. Why did she beat the servant? In passive, why was the servant beaten by her? Why was the servant beaten by her? Look at the next sentence. When did you write the letter? In passive, when was the letter written by you? Look at the next sentence. Where will you spend your holidays? Where will your holidays be spent by you? Then look at the next sentence. How will you cross the road? How will you cross the river? How will the river be crossed by you? Then, have you helped him? Has he been helped by you? And at last, finally, will you teach me? In passive, will I be taught by you? Will I be taught by you? So, this is the way you need to change the sentences in interrogative from active to passive, children. Children, let's see some example for imperative sentence conversion of active to passive. Open the door. In passive, let the door be opened. Complete the work. Let the work be completed. Turn off the television. Let the television be turned off. Turned off. Learn your lesson. Let your lesson be learnt. Learn, verb 3 form is learn. Kill the snake. Let the snake be killed. Punish him. Let him be punished. Speak the truth. Let the truth be spoken. Help the poor. Let the poor be helped. Revise your book. Let your book be revised. Clean the room. Let your room be cleaned. So, children, that's all from the chapter 13, active and passive voice. So, children, keep remembering. Don't forget the sentence structure of changeover of tenses from active to passive and the 8 tense groups and its formulas with helping verb and imperative sentence, interrogative sentence, how to change into active to passive, everything. Do the exercise carefully. Find out the answer and work out the worksheet given and send your answers to me.